Hi, I'm Jed Grant, CEO of KYC3. In this video, I'm going to show you how alternative asset, private equity, wealth, and virtual asset managers with more than 100 million under management can make their investors happy, never face a compliance fine, and boost your bottom line by $250K in less than 12 months. First, let me tell you a little bit about us. Our early adopters were tech-forward focused financial services. We helped BNP Paribas to implement a robo-prospector for their wealth management services, enabling their relationship managers to prioritize and onboard high net worth prospects efficiently based on compliance risk and the complexity they represented. We also helped DAOmaker to become the leading social mining platform with strong KYC at very competitive rates. We helped Coin in India to KYC over 8,000 investors in less than 2 weeks, so that they could complete a crowdsourced fundraising of more than $1 million in just a few days. We helped EMP Corp to AML screen more than 20,000 clients per month for their prepaid card and card remittance programs without them hiring any additional compliance staff. We helped Chainmium to implement an AML compliant asset issuance platform quickly and very cost effectively. We helped Bob's Repair, a nationwide handyman service in the US, to carry out KYC AML on several thousand investors while raising more than $2 million in a single week, and many, many more. And since 2019, we are focused on AIFM and private equity and have been delivering even more value. We've helped a nearly $1 billion Africa-focused AIFM stay compliant, improve their AML risk program to the satisfaction of the regulator, the CSSF, and at the same time, we delivered enough efficiencies so they could reallocate a senior risk manager from AML to financial risk management, saving them an estimated $250K per year on their direct AML program costs. We helped a prominent virtual asset service provider to implement a compliance risk management program on their 300,000 clients, including the automated screening of 50,000 active clients every day to manage their potential risks. We delivered all of this capability and they didn't need to add a single additional team member. We're providing our technology to a $1.4 trillion asset manager for the secure and automated collection of documents and data from complex structures. We're able to deliver this capability for a fraction of the cost that they had already spent on a custom solution that they were not happy with. We're providing our technology to a $70 billion asset manager who's been able to scale up the effectiveness of their AML program and comply with new and ever-increasing regulation without engaging any additional staff, and for a fraction of the budget of what a larger team would have cost. We're providing our technology to a $2 trillion multinational bank who are using our technology to better identify their customers and eliminate more than $1 million per year in fraud. And we continue to add new success stories every day. So if you're tired of worrying about the status of your compliance effectiveness, then keep watching. If you feel overwhelmed by manual processes and bureaucratic overload, if you need to get some breathing room so that you can focus on the strategic issues, if you're concerned about the risks that are lurking in your customer files, and you want your customers to thank you for making their onboardings smooth and easy, and if you're tired of headaches because of exceptions and manual workarounds, if you want to have really clear visibility into your processes, your results, and understand the risks, if you want your board and your shareholders to thank you for running an efficient and profitable company, if you really want to organize your work in a simple and reliable way that just works, if you want to make it easy for your investors to complete their disclosures, avoid compliance fines at all costs, and maximize your efficiency, you're at the right place. It is possible for asset managers to massively improve their investor experience, avoid compliance fines, and boost the bottom line by $250K annually. However, most people fail or they struggle because the business doesn't value a holistic approach to compliance yet, and the teams are overwhelmed with complicated onboarding, extensive customer due diligence, complicated risk assessments, and audits that involve lots of manual checking and double checking. This is because they're stuck with manual processes. There's no integration, and they're overloaded with documents and different evaluation tools. They're relying heavily on emails, manual checklists, spot reviews. We're the only team dedicated to solving this problem for alternative asset management firms. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm Jed Grant. I've been active in technology for over 30 years, and I've been an active compliance practitioner since 2008. In 2009, I was a co-founder, along with Jacques Santerre and several other leading Luxembourg professionals, of the Institute for Financial Integrity and Sustainability, a nonprofit dedicated to integrity in finance. I've been developing software for secure environments my entire career. I started with a small private effort, and I was quickly recruited into NATO, where I spent 10 years as a civilian officer in charge of a full IT section, including development, operations, and security, for more than 1,000 end users in several countries. At the time, I was under 30 years old. I was NATO's youngest civilian lieutenant colonel equivalent, and I think that's a record that I may still hold, and a rank that I achieved based on technical and organizational competence with software in TCP/IP networked environments and their operation for NATO. Under my leadership, we deployed the IT systems that supported K4 and S4 in theater in Yugoslavia. I've been a cryptographer and IT security expert since the early 1990s, and you can find archive posts on the ACM Risk Forum to prove it. In that capacity, I also held a secret security clearance for nearly a decade, and I'm intimately familiar with information security and handling practices. Finally, I also spent nearly a decade as a member of the board and an executive director responsible for all aspects of IT strategy for a regulated financial firm under the supervision of the CSSF in Luxembourg. This and my years of financial sector experience make me intimately familiar with the automation requirements of regulated financial services providers. Today, I'm a recognized leader in the field, an active expert in many EU panels related to regulation, technology. I'm an adjunct professor at the University of Luxembourg, where I've lectured on KYC and AML for the Masters in Wealth Management, and I'm on the board of several technology think tanks and observatories. I've personally recruited and vetted large teams of technical and financial professionals over my career. I coach, guide, and I educate them as needed. And security is always a permanent agenda item on our team meetings. KYC3's software development lifecycle process is led by experts who also have decades of experience in secure software development practice and are accomplished software engineers in their own right. Prior to working in the private sector, some of them were also NATO cryptographers with security clearances. Around 2010, I realized that the current state of the art for compliance and due diligence was very artisanal and manually driven, with different expensive and time-consuming databases and various tools being used at different stages of the process. And doing due diligence myself, I realized that there was an incredible amount of work that could be automated using new machine learning technologies and capitalizing on the capabilities of recent advancements in data processing and storage, so-called big data. I look for a solution that could be used to automate and manage the entire due diligence process in an auditable and reliable manner, and I found no commercial off-the-shelf solution. So I started to design and implement a solution that would collect and process due diligence information for my own use. As digitizing the whole process is a gargantuan task, the first version only provided the due diligence research and reporting capabilities, but it was very useful nonetheless. By 2013, it was apparent that others would have liked to use the solution as well. So in 2014, KYC3 was incorporated so that we could sign our first commercial contracts with clients. KYC3 is a Luxembourg-based provider of KYC and KYB risk management automation solutions aimed at alternative investment, private equity, wealth, and virtual asset managers. KYC3's first formal product offering has been available since June 2014. In 2014, KYC3 also received an innovative research and development program grant from the Ministry of Economy to further research and develop our core technology. In 2015, we began working with our first institutional clients in the AIFM and PE sectors. We were delighted to count the esteemed alternative investment management firm Knott Stuckey in Geneva as one of our early adopters. We started out serving customers such as Knott Stuckey with our original screening tool. This tool helped them to screen their clients in their existing program more efficiently and more effectively by providing a single search interface to get all the data they required. We soon realized that the whole process was arcane and artisanal in even the most successful and advanced firms. This led us to focus on total compliance automation, effortless compliance. We developed the enterprise risk management system in direct response to this need. In 2016, we began offering API access and bespoke deployments to take full advantage of our advanced screening capabilities. In March 2016, KYC3 was selected as an innovation partner by BNP Paribas Wealth Management, where we delivered technology components for a very innovative client-facing project. In November 2016, KYC3 was awarded the APSI Startup of the Year Award in Luxembourg. And we also became a founding member of the InfraChain initiative led by the Luxembourg Ministry of State, whose goal is to deliver a strong governance framework for blockchain infrastructures in the EU marketplace. And I'm a founding member and board member of this initiative. In 2017, we began to focus solely on the alternative investment and virtual asset sectors with the release of version 1 of our dedicated platform for KYC and KYB, Know Your Business. Since then, we've helped numerous AIM and VASP clients in Luxembourg, Switzerland, France, Germany, the UK, the Netherlands, as well as Singapore, Hong Kong, India, and Canada to realize substantial savings in their compliance processes. We're a technology development company, not a reseller of other companies' solutions. All of our software and IP is delivered and owned in-house. And we remain focused on solving the challenges faced by AIFMs, private equity, and VASPs in their compliance and in developing new and more efficient ways to remain compliant, manage risk, and improve customer experiences. I founded KYC3 to vastly improve the way KYC is done for financial institutions worldwide. Transforming regulatory and reputational risk management into competitive advantage is the core objective that I intend to achieve for our clients through economies of automation, saving you time and money. Today, my team and I work continuously to improve our solution and deliver efficient digitalization to as many AIFMs, PE funds, wealth managers, and VASPs as possible. So enough about us. Let's talk about your AML and compliance risk management program. An effective AML program will prevent you from being fined and protect the reputation of your company from being tarnished. There are 5 major functions with many activities in an effective AML compliance program. Let's dive in and see how they work. The first activity in a working compliance program is to decide at board level and with formal records what risks your organization is ready to accept and manage. Based on this statement, your program of compliance risk management policies and procedures can be implemented. This means you have to decide which counterparties are potentially acceptable for you to engage within the scope of products and transactions in your business. To state the obvious, this isn't about defining illegal activity. Those are already outside the scope of your risk tolerance. The risk acceptance statement defines the level of risk in legal activity that you're willing and able to manage, knowing that when things go wrong, it's usually an apparently legal activity of a counterparty that's actually covering something more sinister and illegal. Often, limited risk management capability constrains the risk acceptance scope. The resulting policy and procedures are also constrained, and it creates a poor customer experience. With a digital process, the scope can be reviewed, the ability to handle clients effectively can be augmented, and the overall customer experience can be improved, resulting in a much more effective business for you. Every risk management program starts with a risk acceptance statement, or RAS. This should be up to date, in line with your risk management capabilities, and board approved. The traditional way of determining your risk tolerance is to assess your business assumptions and review your manual process capacity in order to develop the RAS based on these assumptions. This results in a risk policy that is limited by assumptions about your business. The new way of reviewing your risk tolerance is to get a real-time look-through at your risk profile and better understand your actual accepted risk versus your risk management capabilities. With a fully digital system, you can compare your actual risk to your risk acceptance statement at any time instantly. This results in faster, clearer, and more accurate risk acceptance and risk mitigation. So by using an automated and fully digital risk assessment system, you can validate the accuracy of and your adherence to your risk acceptance statement. Step 2 is to define your compliance process. Once the RAS is approved, the procedures for managing risk are established or adapted to the way the RAS is written. The old way of doing this is to develop detailed procedures with forms and checklists to be followed. that results in elaborate and complicated processes with manual steps and lots of decision points. The new way of managing this process is with workflow management techniques. This results in a leaner compliance process with fewer steps, and using a fully digital, dynamic, and integrated system, you can do more with less. You can adapt your risk management processes to new regulatory and business requirements quickly and inexpensively. The third step is to ensure that your risk assessment process is reliable. After establishing the process must be reviewed regularly in order to ensure that the checks and balances are working as intended. The old way of doing this is to conduct manual reviews and spot checks in order to determine if the risk assessment process is correctly categorizing and assessing risks. The new way of doing this is with automated risk assessment techniques that involve the use of linked algorithmic risk calculations. Digitalization of the risk assessment process delivers a standard, automated, and fully auditable risk assessment process with no need to conduct further spot checks, as you can look through the process at any time with an automated, fully digital risk assessment system. The second part of your compliance program is to identify and risk assess your customers and counterparties. You need to identify who your counterparty is. In short, you need to know if the investor with a large ticket for your fund is a political slush fund that may be the proceeds of corruption, or if it's a family fortune gained from the sale of a business. The individual you deal with may be identified. However, you need to know if they represent themselves or if they represent something else, such as another individual or an organization. If they represent an organization, you need to know who owns and who controls that organization, all the way to the UBO, or ultimate beneficial owner. This is much harder than it sounds, as the UBO may not even be a shareholder. High net worth individuals and private equity structures sometimes use nominee shareholders and directors to represent them in official records. This often isn't done for nefarious reasons. It's rather to maintain a high level of discretion and keep a low profile as part of a sensible personal risk management strategy that many high net worth individuals require. A counterparty identification program involves deciding what kinds of questions and documentation you will request from your counterparties based on your assessment of the apparent risk that they represent. In a traditional setting, identifying your counterparty involves meeting people face-to-face, having them present government documents for identification, and demonstrating their role and their partners in any legal entity that they represent. This is the traditional account opening. In the digital world, this becomes a new process. You need to identify the individual sitting behind the internet, connected to the device, to collect the relevant information from them and ensure that the information is true and valid to the best of your ability. You can do this by using video conferencing tools, collecting documents electronically, and having clients send additional information with legally binding digital signatures. So the first step in your customer identification and risk assessment program is to identify the customer. The old way of doing this is to speak to the customers, have them provide documents, and then you would receive the documents and certify the ID of the customer and file those away. The new way of doing this is to let the customers complete a digital identification process using a secure online portal, and they can onboard anytime, any day, faster and easier. So by using a digital customer identity portal, you improve both the quantity and the quality of your customer's experience while reducing fraud and data protection risks for you, because everything is being collected in secure and encrypted online manner. The second step in your customer identification process is to gather all the additional documentation that you may need. So typically in the old way, customers would be asked, based on what they provided initially, to send in additional documents by email or by post. And then the compliance office will receive the documents by various channels, bit by bit, and then manually check, organize, and review them. The new way of doing this is to allow the customers to use the digital portal to securely upload any additional documents. This results in faster onboarding. Document requirements are crystal clear for the customer, which makes them happy and brings you more business. So by using a digital customer identity portal, the customers can upload all of their documents in a clear and automated to-do list, and you get deals done faster and more securely. The third part of your program is to conduct your customer due diligence. You need to verify that what your counterparty has claimed is valid and it represents a true and accurate depiction of what and who you're dealing with. This means that you must review the documentation provided in order to assess its relevance and authenticity. You must cross-check to a reasonable level of effort that the claims of your counterparty make sense. This can involve doing Google searches, using specialized databases and resources, conducting meetings with involved and related individuals, or even sending private investigators to collect first-hand information. Your due diligence should result in you knowing the risk level of your counterparts and treating them accordingly. Conducting due diligence involves the verification of the information provided by your prospective client, as well as cross-checking the client identity against government lists and available public media in order to conduct a money laundering risk assessment of your customer. Traditionally, this involves scrutinizing the documents provided by the client, analyzing the client's statements, and using public sources such as trade registries, press archives, to verify the client's background and their claims. This also involves checking to be sure that the prospective client isn't a wanted criminal or terrorist by referring to a multitude of lists that are issued by various national and supranational law enforcement and anti-terror organizations. In the digital world, this becomes a much more complex task as there are a large number of data sources and the data changes daily. You can use search engines and public access government databases to do much of this checking. And with these sources, you gather the information, analyze it in context, and compile reports summarizing the identified risks and their likelihood of posing a threat to your business from a compliance, an AML, and a reputational perspective. So the first step in this part of your program is to review the customer documentation. The old way of doing this is to dump the documents into a folder and review them against a checklist. The checklist is manually completed and deficiencies are noted in what is a time-consuming process. The new way of doing this is to organize your documents in a smart system that knows the dossier requirements and can be quickly reviewed using a fast and efficient Tinder for compliance approach. This results in faster onboarding, document requirements are crystal clear, and customers are happy, and you can handle more business. Using an integrated digital compliance platform makes the review fast and easy and gives immediate visibility on remediation requirements, making the whole process 10 times faster. The second step in your customer assessment process is to conduct due diligence checks. The old way of doing this is that the customer data would be entered into due diligence systems and the results will be checked by the compliance analyst. The results from these systems is then copy-pasted or downloaded and integrated into a customer risk report document, and that document is then added to the dossier. This is manual work with lots of copy-paste, it's error-prone, and it doesn't automatically keep a very clear and clean audit trail. The new way of doing this is to screen your customers against PEP, sanctions, and adverse media, as well as search engines, as soon as a customer data is captured, and immediately add any potential results to the dossier. So the new result is that you get real-time customer due diligence available quickly and easily without switching systems and with a full audit trail of the risk assessment and analyst review of that information. So by using an integrated digital compliance platform, the due diligence process becomes error-free and 10 times faster. The third step in the customer assessment process is to understand the risks of the customer structure and their activity. The old way of doing this is the customer would provide a structure chart and business descriptions, and if questions arise, there will be a back and forth with clarification. And the result is that you get charts of various formats and data quality in the customer files, and they're there for reference along with some Q&A and notes that are used to make the assessment. The new way of doing this is to assess the risk using all the inputs from the customer, such as the roles and the organizational relations, and to quickly review dynamic and automatically created structure charts and business risk flags. These standardized structure charts are generated automatically, so they're dynamic and easy to manage. The structures are reflected as is in real time based on available information and can be managed and split with a single click. Risks are calculated and updated on the fly based on the latest information. So using an integrated digital compliance platform with entity relationship intelligence makes structure changes and risks automatically visible and up to date in real time. This saves you both time and money and reduces your risk. The fourth step in your customer assessment process is the remediation of identified risks. The old way to do this is based on the evaluation of your customer inputs and risk assessments. Additional information may be required from the customer by email, by telephone, by post. So compliance sends this request and awaits a response. The new way of doing this is during the automated risk assessments and structure review, compliance can send an invitation to the customer to upload additional information directly, simply by requesting the document in the system. And the result is that the customers can provide the additional documents any time of day, very quickly, and the analyst can confirm them immediately. So using an integrated digital customer portal reduces the time it takes to close information gaps by an order of magnitude, and it better secures the exchange of sensitive information, which is also a very important consideration in light of the GDPR and other data protection regulations in various jurisdictions. The fourth part of your customer program, your AML program, is to monitor your customers and counterparties continually. You need to continually monitor your counterparty risk levels and take appropriate action if the risk level of a counterparty changes. This means you need to screen your counterparts against official lists of wanted and known criminals and terrorists, such as the OFAC list, the Interpol list, the UN, EU, FBI, and many other published lists. This also means you need to know if your counterparty is or becomes politically exposed, meaning they're in a position of political power that may be conducive to corruption. Finally, you need to make sure that your counterparties are not engaging in behavior that could be damaging to your reputation as their service provider. The media is full of regretful financiers making excuses that they were unaware that Jeffrey Epstein was a sadistic pedophile, yet this information was in the public domain for nearly a decade before the scandal became front page news. Monitoring of client risk involves keeping tabs on your clients, as one would do with a traditional press clipping service. This means scanning the press each day for negative information about your clients. Also, this means scanning all of the official lists of wanted criminals and known terrorists to ensure that your client is not added to one of those lists. Because of the volume of information and the multitude of sources, it's no longer feasible to connect directly with each official source and all the search engines to review each client each day. In a digital world, you will need a client screening solution. In general, you'll have to purchase access to a consolidated data source that makes all this information available in a single search. Still, with such a data source, there are several ways to screen your clients. First, you can purchase access to a web tool in which you will screen each of your clients manually each day, possibly by uploading them in batches once per day or checking them against the data in that way. This approach keeps all your customer data more or less private to your company at the expense of a daily intervention that involves collection and review of the same results over and over every day so that you can check for new data points. The second way to do this is to share your client data with a third party who will screen your clients each day and send you notification of any new negative information arising about your clients. This approach reduces your workload at the expense of sharing all your customer data with a third party who becomes a legal custodian of that data and effectively moving your payroll to their payroll and not really providing much automation. The third option, and the one that combines the benefits of both, keeping your data private and fully automating your workload, involves running the screening in your systems so that your client data stays with you and your nightly screening records are also kept with you so that old results are remembered and new results can be handled with a minimum of work. So the first step in your customer monitoring process is to screen your customers for PEP, sanctions, and adverse media. The old way of doing that is to upload a list of customers to a screening service in order to check them, and the compliance team could give the customer list to a third party for nightly screening doing the same. The result is that your customer data is handled every day by third parties and potential hits are provided and they're assessed by your compliance analyst or with recommendations from the third party. The new way is to operate everything automatically and in-house, get risk alerts and review them directly in the system, using a secure system that downloads risk data from the data providers and screens your customers every night on your system. The customer data stays with your company. The results and assessments are collected and reviewed confidentially in a couple clicks with a full audit trail in your company. So by using an integrated digital compliance platform, it's possible to keep your customer data private, very important for GDPR, screen your customers every day, and easily handle the results 10 times faster than before. The second step in your customer monitoring process is the dossier monitoring and dossier management. The old way of doing this is that the compliance analyst will review the dossiers and ensure that all the required documents are still there and they're up to date. So you do this through regular periodic spot checks to reveal missing or expired documents. The customers are then asked for remediation by email, phone, or letter. The new way to do this is that the system knows what the dossier needs to contain based on the risk level and what roles and entities are there. And the analyst is notified whenever a dossier is deficient and can trigger a remediation request via the secure portal. And the automated system knows all the required documents and tracks all the expirations automatically. The new result is that customers receive immediate notification of missing or expired documents, and the analyst can get them uploaded and review them on the spot immediately. So digitalization makes remediation a continual and automatic process. The dossier status is visible at all times, spot checks aren't required, and this saves many, many man days of work per year. The third step in your customer monitoring process is the reassessment of risk. The old way to do this is based on the risk level. You'll periodically review your customer dossiers. For example, high risk on an annual basis, medium risk every 2 years, and low risk every 3 years. So on an annual, biannual, or triannual basis, the dossiers are reviewed, assessed to ensure that the risk level has not changed. The new way is to receive automatic notification on any specific dossier review date and to quickly check the file for any changes of risk status. You can be notified if the risk changes when that happens. Digital dossiers effectively become smart dossiers, so no dossier will be forgotten, and the remediation workload can be distributed evenly over the entire year across your entire portfolio of customers. So by using an integrated digital compliance platform with smart dossiers, reassessment becomes a holistic step and a continual process that saves you time and improves the reliability of your risk management and provides a complete audit trail of every decision and every action taken. And that leads us to the fifth part of your AML program, and that is conducting internal audits, reporting to your external auditors and to the regulator. You need to be prepared to confirm the efficacy of your risk management program to your board, to your auditors, and to the regulator. To do this, you need to track and assess your performance across all elements of your program. You need a reliable audit trail and an easy-to-produce reports. Ideally, you can produce up-to-the-minute reviews quickly and efficiently on any counterparty, product, or transaction in your business. Not only will your board, your auditors, and the regulator appreciate this capability in these reports, you will sleep better at night knowing that your system is well monitored and that everything can be proven to be in order. Typically, your reporting program will involve reporting for several different purposes, including board, internal audit, external audit, and regulatory. These reports are usually developed as templates ahead of time that are regularly completed and provide to the relevant authority the information they need. Board reporting may be bi-monthly, monthly, or quarterly. Internal audit may be monthly or quarterly. External and regulatory reporting may be quarterly or annual. When all combined, all of these responsibilities create a very, very busy reporting calendar. And many people actually use a calendar to manage this. Each report needs to be prepared by its deadline and delivered to the appropriate authority. The preparation of reports involves checking the dossiers, looking at audit notes, reviewing the KPIs, using various tools and databases to assist in the risk assessment, as well as a review of the processes and procedures in place, and providing an audit trail that allows the reconstruction of what was done by whom and when. This is a time-consuming task that involves collection and collation of information from many, many sources in order to produce clear and concise reports that accurately reflect the risk and compliance events in the reporting period. So the first step in your reporting process is to check your dossiers for internal compliance. The old way is to look at a specific dossier because you'll require a full review from a trigger event, such as a specific transaction or an activity change. The dossier will be reviewed in detail, documents and assessments and other considerations are checked to confirm a potential change in risk level. The new way is to set up the SMART dossiers so that risk assessment is continual and always up to date, and the consultation of dossiers can happen immediately whenever a trigger event occurs. Client risk levels can be quickly reviewed and confirmed whenever a trigger event occurs. And because this is a digital platform, you can even signal trigger events using an automated API. So this can be fully automated. So using an integrated digital compliance platform with smart dossiers, it lets you fulfill your client requests 10 times faster while maintaining proper risk and compliance controls. The second part of your reporting process for your AML program is reporting to the board. The old way to do this is the board of directors would require risk updates and needs concise information to approve any exceptional cases. So compliance has to prepare these reports using data from their various systems and processes. Periodically, the team will review and update their overview statistics and then generate reports and detailed, with time-consuming reports to be included in a board pack. The new way of doing this is to keep all of your data in an integrated system with full audit trails and detailed statistics. The reports can be available in real time, all the time. Reports can be generated in minutes rather than hours with standardized formats, consistent data directly from the system, and the data is even accessible by API so it can automatically be fed into complex business intelligence and decision support systems. So by using an integrated digital compliance platform, 360-degree view reports are standardized and available all the time. This saves you many, many man-days of work per year and provides professional assurance of consistent and unbiased reporting. The third step in your reporting and review is to conduct the external audits. Each year, your auditors will want to review the process, procedures, and results of the risk management program. In the old way, the auditors reviewed the printed documents and procedures and confirmed that the risk management program is performing as expected. They note the deficiencies that may exist due to regulatory or best practice changes since the last audit, and this results in changes and updates to your procedures. The new way to do this is the auditors can review the configuration rules and results in place directly in the system, along with the audit log showing exactly how the system was used. The auditors can make quick empirical observations of the entire process and result in a single system. The analyst can address deficiencies on the spot and get auditor sign-off for the configuration changes very quickly. So by using an integrated digital compliance platform, audit and their remediation becomes much faster, cheaper, and 10 times more efficient. The fourth step in your reporting is reporting to the regulator. The old way is that periodically the regulatory authorities will want to review the process, procedures, and results of your risk management program, and the regulators would review the printed documents. They may even send someone to the office and look at the procedures, confirm that your risk management program is performing as expected and as evidenced in your files. The new way is that the analyst can produce these detailed reports, including documents, assessment, and audit notes for the regulator in standard formats with the push of a button. The result is that the regulators can verify that the risk management program is effective and working without having to doubt as to manual process steps and any undocumented decisions, because everything is right there in the system. It's even possible to give the regulator remote access as a user of the system so that they can temporarily access it and review the records directly without having to have them present in your office. So by using an integrated digital platform, the compliance process becomes holistic, transparent, and simplified so that fines for deficiencies or errors should never happen again. So let's talk about the approach. Building the right compliance management program just requires the proper organization of your setup, your operation, and your insurance processes. If you get these right, you can make your investors' lives easier, you can avoid compliance fines, and you can save $250K per year on a typical AIFM compliance operation. So as you can see, all you need to do is integrate the fundamentals of risk acceptance and risk management, configuration, the tuning, a robust customer identification process, a standardized and comprehensive customer due diligence and risk assessment process, a continual customer monitoring process, and a structured and automated event capturing, regulatory reporting, and audit review process. Wow, that's a mouthful. And you put all that in a digital platform with automated workflows, smart dossier management, and secure direct customer communications via portal, and you can make your customers happier by giving them a more accessible and easy to use system. You can boost your bottom line by $250K typically, and you'll never again face a compliance fine. So there's several ways to achieve this. You can set it up all in-house with the support of major consulting advisors and developers. You'll end up with a compliance framework process and team that mirrors your competitors mainly. It'll take at least a year, if not 2 or 3, and cost well over $1 million in upfront investment. And the annual costs of operating and maintaining that will probably be about the same. The costs will also increase quite steeply as you scale up the team and as you adapt to the growth in your business and to changes in the regulatory environment. The second way you could do this is you could pull together various compliance tools and hire a systems integrator to put them all together for you. This will probably take at least 2 years. It will also cost well over $1 million upfront. It'll probably cost maybe $800K per year for a small team, and the cost will increase as regulatory changes happen and your business grows, but not as steeply as the first option as you scale up. Or you can work with KYC3. We can deploy a fully configured and ready-to-use digital compliance automation solution for you for a fraction of the cost and in weeks or months of project time instead of years. You can scale up your team and your costs will scale evenly and marginally as you increase your business, and the software will be adapted continually by us to meet future regulatory requirements. Again, KYC3 is for alternative investment, wealth management, private equity, and virtual asset service providers who are looking to digitize the entire compliance process but are struggling with the complexity and the technical challenges of integrating everything together within reasonable time and budget constraints. Here are some people like you that we've worked with. We've helped companies such as an African-focused private equity fund with approximately $1 billion under management to digitize their AML risk management across 26 team members in offices in France, Luxembourg, Madagascar, and several other countries. They were able to reallocate their AML staff onto higher value risk management functions with immediate annual savings in excess of $250K, and to focus more on enhanced deep dive due diligence that's expected to help them produce better investment returns over time. We've digitized compliance for a retail-focused brokerage in the UK, helping them to get up and running in less than 2 weeks, recovering from a failure of their existing KYC provider and getting their client onboarding process fully digital and integrated in record time. We have automated the risk screening process for an OTC asset trading firm based in Paris, helping them to do nightly screening on more than 50,000 counterparties involved in their business over the past years, and to fully automate the management and reporting of their AML risk. We've implemented fully digital dossier risk management for a leading private equity firm in the UK and Luxembourg, enabling them to leap from manual checklists and processes to a fully integrated compliance process with immediate remediation and real-time risk screening of all their counterparties and all the components within them. We help a $1 trillion investment manager to manage the complex onboarding process for their institutional investors, gathering and managing all the document collection and counterparty identification through an automated portal, massively improving the efficiency of their compliance process, their customer experience, and giving them much better risk management capabilities. We help an international investment fund focus on developing nations to handle complex compliance efficiently, involving NGOs, international organizations, institutional investors, and putting all of this in a simple and effective system where their small team can scale globally without complexity. Again, saving them hundreds of thousands of euros, reducing their risk, and improving their customer experience. We help a large Italian-based lender to onboard more clients, to identify risks, and collect required consent and documentation so that their modest anti-fraud team can more effectively identify and mitigate the risks. This helps them eliminate more than €1 million per year in fraudulent loan activity. Here's what's going to happen when you work with us. You'll be able to identify your clients quickly and securely. Your clients will be able to securely upload their data directly to you. You'll be able to see the status of all your dossiers in real time and have no surprises. You'll be able to manage complex risk and compliance without any worries. You'll be able to easily evaluate client-provided documentation with confidence. You'll be able to see exactly where the risks are in your portfolio of counterparties. You'll be able to meet your reporting requirements. You'll be able to manage complex and dynamic KYB structures. You'll be able to get instant risk assessment updates whenever a structure changes or if structures merge. You'll be able to always get the latest UBO and control charts from each dossier in the system. You'll get documented records of all your compliance activities, including the customer consent requirements such as GDPR and FATCA CRS reporting. You will analyze the risk with complete and reliable records. You'll respond to regulators and auditors quickly and accurately. You will enjoy the benefits of a fully digital process. You'll no longer rely on checklists, emails, files scattered across different systems and folders. You can get rid of tedious manual remediation audits and report preparation, and you can forget about surprises and lost documents during audits. You'll feel confident, you'll be empowered, and have a clear view of everything under your responsibilities. You'll never again face an audit or regulatory review with uncertainty or doubt, and you will never again be fined for non-compliance due to disorganized information and opaque processes. We develop long-term relationships with our clients, and we improve our capabilities together in a collaborative partnership. Our aim is to deliver the solution that allows your company to minimize complexity and enjoy tangible competitive advantages as quickly as possible. Our engagements consist of 2 phases. The first phase is to configure and deliver your digital compliance platform and processes, and to ensure that your company's analysts are able to make efficient use of it. The second phase is the long-term operation of the Enterprise Risk Management System, or ERMS as we call it. We have occasional short projects for upgrades and revision as needed, and both of these phases are aimed at helping you to have the most effective and efficient digital compliance program for your business. At the beginning, we'll review your risk acceptance statement and the accompanying policies and procedures, as well as a definition and planned automation of your processes, and we can help. Prior to commencing any technology deployment, we're happy to assist with the detailed technical solution architecture and planning. We're able to help you address any deficiencies in your compliance and risk management program. I'm an experienced systems analyst and architect with 30 years of enterprise-grade solutions experience gained in international institutions such as NATO and in CSSF-regulated institutions in Luxembourg, with nearly a decade of board and executive committee member experience under the IML and then the CSSF, as well as many regulated institutions in France, the UK, and Switzerland. Myself, I will, or an equally qualified technical and compliance professional, lead the pre-deployment consulting and advisory engagement for you. At the end of this review, we'll present you with an assessment and the detailed plan of the transformation to digital compliance for your organization. Then we begin to get digital. The KYC3 Enterprise Risk Management Core delivers your KYC, KYB client identification, due diligence, continual monitoring, and regulatory reporting in a simple, integrated platform that automates and facilitates the most laborious tasks of compliance. The KYC ERMS is a fully configurable and customizable legal compliance setup. So we add any type of entity, we define the required documentation for each entity, the role, we manage the geographical jurisdictions, and we set up and document your entire AML process in a few simple screens of configuration. The KYC3 ERMS Smart Dossiers collect all the information for customer identification, documentation, due diligence, structure, risk assessment, and monitoring in a simple to use and comprehensive dossier. The KYC3 ERMS Risk Screening Engine checks your customers against PEP, sanctions, adverse media, and search engines, and provides daily updates of any new risks identified. The results are easily reviewed in a Tinder for compliance style interface where you just have to accept, reject, or escalate, just like on Tinder. The KYC3 ERMS reporting module gives you quick and easy access to detailed audit information on every event, decision, and note that has been made in the system, allowing you to produce reports very quickly and very easily. The KYC3 ERMS Entity Relations Manager provides easy visibility of individual relations on KYC as well as corporate structures for KYB so that you can detect conflicts of interest, you can have UBO documentation, and management control charting at your fingertips. The KYC3 Due Diligence Research Portal offers open and flexible access to the full risk intelligence dataset, so you can use it to search prospective clients as easy as using Google. It also offers a comprehensive report builder for generating detailed risk assessment reports in PDF format. The KYC3 ERMS Dashboard gives you an immediate overview of your dossiers, your potential screening risks, your counterparty demographics, and the risk profiles, all with a comprehensive and simple sorting and drill down capability. Using the ERMS entity tagging system, you can slice and dice your client data however and how many ways you require. For example, you can sort by fund, by customer type, by business unit, by region, and you can always get the exact report you need using the right tags. The KYC3 ERMS is a flexible, on-premise, own cloud, or hosted SaaS solution, software as a service. We can deploy an instance in your company's data center if you like, at your chosen hosting provider, or we can arrange hosting on your behalf. We coordinate with your technical teams for proper access and security controls, and we coordinate with the hosting team to ensure proper business continuity measures are in place as per your policies and procedures. You can also get automated using the ERMS Remote Counterparty Onboarding Module. The identification of clients is a new challenge in a digital world, and in order to have the most efficient and secure interactions possible, you'll want to enable your system to identify and collect information directly from your clients. Your counterparties, both KYC and KYB, can identify themselves with an eIDAS and GDPR compliant process. Also meets the Xertes requirement in Switzerland. They can securely upload all the information and documents that you need directly to your ERMS platform. And they can receive alerts and notifications from you securely connected to the ERMS and provide remedial information whenever necessary. No more sending confidential information around in emails. Using advanced computer vision, speech recognition, and live video, we identify your clients and collect the information you require directly via a secure, encrypted portal that is branded and integrated into your website. Your company white-labeled onboarding portal includes the integration with the look and feel of your company website to provide a seamless experience for your customers. It has consent recording to capture your customers' consent to terms and conditions, GDPR, FATCA CRS, etc. Video identification that records a live video of your customer proving that they are actually the person providing the information, and we prove that the video is live. We have ID document capture where we take a live image of your customer's passport, identity card, or other ID document and provide automated assessments of the ID quality, the extraction of the identity data, and the verification of certain document checksums. We use configurable forms so that we can capture and collect the information that you require as structured data or as uploaded documents. So you can collect PDFs, JPEGs, and other types of documents directly through the portal. We use face recognition, so we automatically match the video to the identity document and can automatically warn you if there is a mismatch there. And we use voice recognition so that we can verify the authenticity and the liveness of the video as well as capture the consent if you choose to do so. We use phone number verification and phone intelligence for risk assessment, so you can get real-time risk intelligence on the customer's mobile phone number, and you can verify that the phone is valid and attached to them. We use dynamic onboarding for KYB structures so we can collect complex document packages in a simple onboarding wizard. And we use SMS and email notification to quickly notify customers of required actions. Those emails contain no sensitive data and simply provide a notification to connect back to the portal, as do the SMS messages. So let's recap all of those features and all those benefits, and let's put some value on them. In order to be effective, all the elements need to be integrated and interlocking. Your risk acceptance statement needs to map to your risk management procedures and capabilities. Your customer identification process needs to be robust and clear. Your customer due diligence process needs to be standardized and very well documented. Your customer monitoring program must be comprehensive and proactive. Your reporting and audit trails need to be reliable and transparent. You need all of this to work together flawlessly and automatically so that you can manage inherent risk from customers and products, you can achieve control effectiveness in your organization and your governance and supervisory structures, and you can make informed decisions regarding the residual risks. There are three main phases involved in the establishment and operation of an effective AML risk management program, covering all the activities that we've just described. And for a small compliance team operating in an alternative investment niche. First, there's the setup. You have to develop the system with a compliance expert, define checklists, documents, etc. Build your risk evaluation methods, print, sign, and record everything. Make sure the audit records are in place. This should involve at least $250,000 in resources to achieve in this setup, typically amortized over 5 years. That would represent $50K per year investment. Second, you have to operate the system. You have to collect the documents. You actually do the work, review the risk, manage the dossiers, identify the risk, check conflicts of interest, other potential negative aspects. You have to build new dossiers, conduct risk assessments on them, manage corporate changes within counterparties and investments. You have to ensure that the risk screening is ongoing. You have to review, remediate, follow up. Typical operation would be at least 3 full-time employees with a fully loaded annual cost of at least $450,000. And then there's the assurance efforts, which involve the board reporting, the audits, the regulatory reviews. You have to prepare the reports based on the regular or periodic demand. You have to gather and collate all the documentation. You have to verify the facts and statistics across the processes, confirm the application of your policy and procedures. You have to synthesize all of the summaries and all the evidence to third parties that the reports are accurate and reliable. And in a mid-sized investment firm, this typically would involve at least half of a full-time equivalent annually, plus external service providers, and that would represent a fully loaded annual cost of at least $250K. So we deliver on all 3 areas. We focus our efforts on efficiency and reliability of the processes we enable. This means that your company can handle more growth with less cost, delivering real bottom line gains. So as you can see, that results in about $800K in costs, and typically the probability of efficiency gain hovers around the 33% mark, and different clients will see different results. But overall, the expected gain can be around 262,000 euros per year. So this represents a huge return on investment, because a typical comprehensive IT project of this scale would have a 3-year break even, making the annual savings of this order of magnitude worth at least 750,000 euros. So let's summarize. By adopting a fully digital compliance process on an integrated platform, you can achieve massive capability gains, deliver savings that flow through to your bottom line, and help you achieve the compliance and customer satisfaction that you've always wanted. Since our inception, KYC3 has developed its own intellectual property, and we provide SaaS solutions tailored to the needs of AIFM and virtual asset management firms. Our solution eliminates the labor and the risk inherent in the old school manual dossier processing and tracking systems that are based on document stores, Excel spreadsheets, email communications. We do this by providing an integrated dossier management and risk screening environment with a complete audit trail and a white-labeled secure counterparty portal for document collection and onboarding. Our systems have handled millions of name screening checks and thousands upon thousands of client onboardings. So let's summarize what you get with KYC3's fully integrated digital compliance ERMS, Enterprise Risk Management System. First, the fundamentals. You get to adjust your risk acceptance statement to match your capacity to manage risk. You streamline your compliance process and you improve your operational controls. You automate the risk assessment process for continual and consistent compliance. On your customer identification and dossiers, you identify your clients even if they are complex entity structures. You can collect documentation through your very own secure digital portal directly into the platform. You have secure authentication through video and identity verification. On the customer due diligence side, you can quickly review and evaluate the provided documentation. You can understand your clients with automated structure charts and visual risk indicators, making it very easy to identify the sources of risk in your customer dossiers. You can conduct proper due diligence with built-in PEP sanction, adverse media, and search engine screening. This kicks in as soon as a customer is put in the system. And you have automatic to-do remediation actions that are added based on risk assessments and documentation requirements. If you look at your AML monitoring, you can see your risk and compliance big picture in an easy to understand, always up-to-date dashboard. You get daily alerts of any new PEP sanction or adverse media elements. You get real-time alerts for all expired or outdated documents, and you can automatically be notified of any mandatory reviews based on risk level. And you can automatically add to-do remediation actions to dossiers when customer circumstances change or to meet any new regulatory requirements. And you can simply merge structures together when deals are consummated and have all the risk updated accordingly. So you can create that new co, do all the KYB on the new co, and then merge it into your existing fund when the investment is complete. And the risk will be updated dynamically and immediately. On the regulatory audit and reporting, you can produce simple to use risk overviews for regular board meetings, investment committee meetings, and more. You get push button detailed audit reports and full customer dossier reports for auditors and regulators. You get detailed screening metrics, which regulators like to see so that they can verify that your screening program is functioning and that you're correctly managing the results. No false negatives, minimal false positives, and you manage those quickly and efficiently. You can slice and dice your entity data with the tags that you define, so you can group your customers by fund, by business, by investment type, however you need. It's up to you. In short, you get a solution that automates your compliance process from the start to the finish so that you can arrive at that finish line having a complete and transparent view and the confidence that your compliance process is efficient, effective, and gives your customers the easiest way to interact with you possible. So the best thing to do now is to click below on Get a Price and fill out our short survey to make sure that we're a good fit. If we are a good fit, we'd be happy to speak to you and get to know you better and see how we can help you to save more than $250K a year, make your customers happier, and never face a compliance fine again. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate the attention and the time that you've put into this video, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Goodbye.